everybody. I'm Ryan Doyle. This is the Vertigo Table, and I am pumped. This has been a long time in the making from the Antipodes. One, Matthew Perkins. Matty P, what's up, man? How you feeling?
Feeling good. What's an antipody?
I think it's like the opposite of where I am. It might be like I think it's an antiquated term from
Oh,
like,
so,
and
so you're
it's
saying
probably
you're the
based on like
antipody?
I don't. One of us is the Antipodes. I don't know. It's like the polar opposites. I feel like if I started digging, eventually I would hit lava and then water and then you. Maybe not. Maybe
Where
not
are
in that
you?
order. I am
Which
now in
state?
Pittsburgh. I am now in Pittsburgh. So I'm in the northeast of the U.S.
Oh, yeah, that's
I'm in
cool. For your
Pennsylvania.
information, I have no idea where that is. But
You
like, it's fun. It's
know,
fun to ask and then nod.
sure. So I'm originally from New York. People tend to know where that is, kind of.
It's on the right.
It's on the. I'm on the right coast. I'm on the right coast.
Oh, good. Yeah.
You're like bottom. You're bottom right ish.
Yeah, bottom right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bottom right. I'm in Victoria. It's sick. Do you know? Hey, can I ask you a question about Australia?
hmm
What do you think? I'm putting you on the spot. What's the capital of Australia?
Oh, you guys made it up, and I'm gonna say it's Kookaburra is popping into my
Come on.
brain, which is completely wrong. But it's like Canberra or some. It's like some made up city.
Do you know what? That is
It's
so much. Good job.
it's close.
It's Canberra. Yeah.
Canberra. Yeah, I knew it was. Yeah.
Yeah. That's good because most people would have said Sydney, and I don't know. That's somehow insulting. Somehow, imagine if somebody said, "Oh, it's the capital of America." Yeah, New York, baby,
Right.
the Big Apple.
Well, it's interesting because you're true for like 6 months back in like the 18th century. It was like New York for a
Oh,
second,
really?
and then it was Philly for a little bit. It was Philadelphia for a sec.
Philly. The only thing I know about Philly is that it has a 56% illiteracy rate.
Philly's tough, man. Philly, like I lived outside of Philly. Whatever. All cities are a lot of things at once. In my limited experience, Philly is what people imagine New York is, and what New York used to be. Like when I was a kid, New York was probably pretty tough. Now it's just international real estate development. It's not. It's all too
Yeah.
shiny. But Philly still goes hard. You say the wrong thing about the Eagles or something, you better check your neck. It's weird out
Damn.
there.
I my studio in Melbourne, like so I rent a studio right now that I'm in. Oh, in this box, it's a studio.
It's fancy.
It is above a bar in like one of the rougher suburbs. Like I'm in the west. And I walk around about like 3 weeks ago, I was walking around and I won't say the C bomb, but he said the C bomb to me and he threatened to kick my head in because I looked grumpy. I'm like, oh my God, I wasn't doing anything. I was going to the post office and someone threatened to kick my head in. That's
You
cheap.
should smile more, or I
I
will commit
should.
violence upon you.
Honestly, if that doesn't want to make you smile, I don't know what will.
I'm laughing. I don't know. It didn't happen to me, but
Do you know Runehammer? Have you seen the channel Runehammer? Hankering
interestingly,
for an ale?
yeah, sure. He has recently opened a brick and mortar in Philly.
Yeah. Dude, I love
It,
that journey.
yeah, it's
He's so cool. I'd love to go there. I think he's called his place Runehammer. But that guy's so um enterprising where like I feel that if you're watching a cartoon like an anime or something and there's a fight and two people are fighting like Goku versus whoever Goku hates and Goku holds back a bit and B's like, I'm not going to finish you off just to show you how strong I am. That's
Mhm.
how I feel about Runehammer, where I'm like, this guy could be a Matt Colville super success, but he has like disdain for YouTube and the game of YouTube. So he goes like, I could kill it and I'm going to prove to you that I could kill it, but I'm not going to show how much restraint I have. Now I've opened up a store.
That feels very insightful. Like he's definitely not achieved his final form. Like he's never gone. He's never gone 100, and he's
I don't want to see him
a
go
force of
100. What
nature.
happens?
No, I'm terrified. I'm terrified. He would just start glowing.
Yeah.
It's such a cool arc to be like, yeah, I made a game and like conquered the whatever digital frontiers. I was an early adopter of YouTube and like
Mm-hmm.
now I have a store in Fishtown. Like, what up? I'm doing what
Do
I
you have his
want.
game? I'm going to get it. One second.
I have it digitally. I don't have it. Do I have it on the shelf? It might be on the shelf
No,
actually. Yeah, it's good. It's good.
this,
Ladies and gentlemen, if you
this
don't know
book,
Index Card RPG, get it.
the thing is about this book, like I bought it just because if there's somebody out there making something and I want them to keep making it, I will just buy the thing that they do, even if I don't care about it. Like sometimes I'll subscribe to someone's Patreon and then go block all emails, take my money, just keep making videos. With this, I was like, do you know what? I'm actually going to buy this book and I'm going to read it. And it was so challenging. I don't want to run this game. I don't want to play this game. But there were so many ideas in here that challenged me at a foundational level and the assumptions that I make about gameplay, where I was like, oh, maybe I'm dumb, you know? And it was like a good head scratcher all the way through. Have you read the PDF that you have?
Yeah, there's something so brilliant about like, nah, you don't need all these bells and whistles go off to the side. All you need, I mean, literally, index card RPG. It's like, this is a goblin. Boom. It's better this way. Like this is now you can focus on the important stuff. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, actually that is a very good point. It really did. Yeah, I have like minimalist tendencies anyway. Not that you would know by the pile of crap behind me, but it is very appealing to me to just like strip it down. I don't want the fancy VTT with the animations. Just like close your eyes. What you imagine is way better than what I can draw. Yeah.
All right, eyes closed, brains on. Let's play D&D. My favorite idea that I saw in it that challenged me was they assign each dice to like a different function. And I'm going to get them wrong about what they say, but I know they go, if you ever roll a critical hit, then that's a D12, baby. That's the biggest dice we've got. If you're ever rolling for loot, that's a D10. If you're ever rolling for, I don't know, to hit, maybe that's a D8. You know what I mean? And they just go, here are the different functions we're doing. Maybe random encounters are always a D4. And they just go, in every instance, it's a D4. In every instance, it's a D6. And I just imagine when you sit down at the table as a D&D player, you just grab the dice you need and you put them in front of you and you sort them into little piles. Imagine looking at those piles and being goes, there's my loot, there's my damage, there's my health, there's my random encounters. And it just feels so, I don't know, tactile, tactile role-playing is the way I think about it. Oh, I love it.
And it's like, there's a brutal like simplicity to it. I think that like when you get down to 0, then you can start like building back up without any of those assumptions. Like, I don't know why, like there's 5 kinds of things. I got 5 kinds of things over here. I don't know. I like pyramid. Pyramid equals this now. Like, oh, cool. Yeah. Like a 5-year-old could figure that out, but a 45-year-old has too much crap in their head to even consider that idea of like triangles do this now.
That actually is it. You know what I mean? Like when you have too much game knowledge, I'm burdened by game knowledge and experience of all the great games I've played. No, it's it's like you have all these assumptions that you can't get past. Have you ever? I don't know if you have kids. Have you played D&D with kids yet?
I have not. I have some people who are close, but
kids are really good to play games with because they don't have the same hang-ups or like biases that adults have. And with adults, usually what you're doing when you're running the game, you're trying to break down barriers in their ego to make it signal to them, hey, it's okay to be like a dumb fuck in this situation. You can put on a stupid voice. And if you make a mistake, we're not going to have a go at you for it because we're stupid as well. But kids, you don't need to do any work to break down that barrier. Kids before they're 12. After 13, somebody builds that barrier up pretty hard, and it might be the other children. But yeah, there's just no barrier to play, no assumptions. That's kind of what this book did to me. It challenged my assumptions, and then when I got rid of them, I was like, oh, okay, that's exciting.
Yeah, I really love new players for that reason. I like someone coming in. One, I just like, I don't know, hey, allow me to bestow upon you your new favorite thing. That brings me joy. But also like the fresh-faced, like beginner's mindset, just like, I have no idea what we're doing. It's like, cool, good. I'm not even going to tell you. You're going to figure it out as you go. And we're both going to learn something in the process. Let's go.
Have you had that moment when like you're running for, that's the assumption you make. You go, I'm going to give you your new favorite thing. We're going to have a great time. I know that you feel vulnerable, but I'm going to guide you through it. Have you ever had that situation and you do all that for the player? At the end of it, they go, yeah, not really my thing. It was kind of dumb. I'm like, oh, damn.
Sure. I mean, less and less. I'm a little more selective now. It used to be like everyone I like spending time with should like D&D. I've now have a more nuanced approach to like, You're the kind of nerd who's gonna enjoy this. Come hang out with us. And sometimes we get like, the partner, the spouse who's like maybe a
Mhm.
little less enthused, but it's what we're doing.
Mhm.
So there's some of that, but I can suss out pretty well now who is this for, right? And sometimes they're like afraid of liking it too much is actually what I get more now. Just like, I don't know if I can do
Really?
this every Tuesday for the rest of my life. It's like, yeah, cool, that's fine.
Yeah.
Like you can do it once, but it's hard.
That's such an adult question of like, okay, thank you for inviting me to this great life-changing experience. Let me just think of my calendar briefly and visualize how angry it is at me. Okay. It's hitting me with a rolled up newspaper. Okay. Yeah, I probably can't do this one forever. um,
Yeah.
and especially like D&D's changed the way I schedule events because now when I schedule anything, I'm like, hey, you want to come to this house party? I'm going to get there at 9. I'm going to be there for 2 hours and then I'm going to bail. Because if someone says, do you want to come to this house party? And it's like, okay, we're probably going to get there at 11:30 and we're going to stay until 6 a.m. and we're going to end up, by the river. I'm like, well, I don't want to do that sprawling thing. I want to do a discrete activity that I can leave at any time. And I feel like D&D needs that bound,
Yeah, we're all very concerned about the starting point. So my Tuesday night game is at the game shop, and they close at 10. So we have to leave by 10, and that is very nice.
Right. That's good.
Because if I forget about the clock, someone's gonna show up and be like, "Hey, guys, get out of here." It's like, "Oh, cool, thank you."
Mhm.
Like, yeah, I forgot. I was doing my job, and we lost track of time.
Here's a question. If I'm coming to your game tonight and I call you up and go, "Oh, Ryan, I'm running 5 minutes late because I'm in Australia and the commute's bad." Do you start without me and I just join partway through, or do you wait for me?
I have learned that it is necessary for me to have a built-in buffer. So we're starting at 6:30 because we're going to BS for a good 30 minutes. The dice are going to start rolling at 7.
Mm-hmm.
If I know you're going to be 5 minutes late, I'm like, okay. If I haven't heard from you and we've been all right, that's our 30 minutes of BS buffer time. Then like we start. I'll fill you in whatever. I'll hand
Okay.
wave the details in the narrative. Um, but yeah, it is.
When I do show up, and I'm that little bit late, are you a little bit peeved, or have you already folded that into your expectations that it's like, oh, it's okay if a player's 5 minutes late and we're already playing without them?
I I think this is a place of privilege. At
Mm-hmm.
least all the people in my tables, if they're late, it's for a good reason, right? Like life
Okay.
happens. We're all grown-ups. Like everyone at my table wants to be there, right? So it's
Mm-hmm.
not like they were putting me off because like D&D's not the priority. Like they had a bad time already. I'm not taking it
Mm-hmm.
personally. Work, kids, traffic, car, something, internet, power outage, who knows?
Mm.
It's yeah, some act of God. A tree branch fell on their car because it got hit by lightning, and that's why they're 5 minutes late. So okay, cool. The perpetually late person, I would, if it's a pattern, that's when we get peeved.
Yeah.
Are you experiencing that, or are you causing that? Because I feel like there's a
Yeah.
personal ask here.
Oh no, I'm causing that. I'm like
Mm.
bloody Russell Crowe, beautiful mind here, seeing patterns in everything because it is a pattern of lateness that I
Uh,
exhibit. I was even late today. You know what I mean? What's funny is that like I tried to join this Zoom call for this meeting 24 hours earlier because I just got the day wrong, and
which
then on the actual day, it's like, oh, I'm 10 minutes late.
which caused me to panic because I didn't see that because I had, but I was talking to someone else yesterday later.
Mm.
And whatever, spending a lot of time talking to people all over the planet. I have a bit of a paranoia about screwing up time zones or something. So I'm like, oh shit,
Dude.
is it today? Did I just stand him up? Like I saw that like 45 minutes because you texted me. I woke up in the morning to a text from you say, hey, we're meeting tomorrow. And I saw that at 5 o'clock in the morning. So when you were
Yes.
saying tomorrow, it was my today already. Because
Yes.
you're in the future and there was a
Yeah.
10-hour gap there. So I was like, oh man, I think because we communicated well, we actually screwed
Mm.
ourselves up worse than if it was just like 5 minutes before. Oh, hey, is this on still?
Yeah, it would have been a lot easier if I hadn't have checked in, I think. And it
That
makes
was your
me think
first
like
mistake.
that's it, caring too much. That's my problem. I just care too much. That's my problem. Um, I would have thought that like, do you run games online ever?
Hmm.
I don't run games online, but I imagine that every scheduling conflict and every late player problem is exacerbated by the fact that we all, live and play from different time dimensions, you know? And I don't know how
That's
people can do that. Take the most scheduling conflict heavy hobby and then go, all right, let's put it through a convolution machine and put some time zones in there.
there's good and bad to it. So we actually now we're all in different places, but we're all in the same time zone right now on my Wednesday night, my online game. Excuse me. But someone's a new dad. So like doesn't
Oh,
matter
yeah.
what time it is. It's like
That's its own time zone.
when it is like 20 minutes past bedtime is when he shows up, and bedtime's a
Mm-hmm.
moving target. Doesn't matter what the clock is doing. Doesn't matter what the sun is doing. So that's something. But again, I build in the buffer, right? So like, all right, everyone online 7:30, whatever it is. We're not playing until 8 because like we're friends. We live apart. Like I have an
Mm-hmm.
online game. Like I much prefer sitting around a table with people, but I play online with these people because I can't sit around a table with them without airfare. So it's the built-in buffer, and in some ways it is easier because I'm already here. There is no commute. It's just like 5 minutes before I sit down in this chair and like turn on the
Yeah.
things. So and that way that's harder for some people to manage. I think we're getting into like more
Work from home
neurological
territory.
questions here.
Yeah. I'm one of those people that was like, I was like, oh yeah, I love work from home. That's great. Yeah, I'll work from home. And then somehow I'm late for it. I'm like, I didn't have to go anywhere. I had to go a massively shorter distance, and I messed it up even harder. So
I have questions for you because you have a studio and like it's new in my
yeah,
mind, but like you've been in there for what, a year now? You've been in
can we
there for a
see it?
while.
There it
Oh,
is.
nice.
Hey, what up?
It's,
Hey,
I mean, I'm jelly. It's wonderful.
thank
You're
you.
you're pumping out like you were always doing good stuff. You leveled up your
Hey,
craft
Ryan, my
recently.
videos suck. Come on,
Get it,
my
get.
videos are
Then
shitty,
what am I?
and I don't
Stop.
do them very often.
Well, okay. You because I think you're spending more time on them. But yeah, if your videos suck,
Yes.
then I'm shot. Like you're doing some cool stuff. I see you making a lot of thought out decisions. Let's put it that way, because you can't push back on that. You are
Oh yeah,
thinking
for sure.
about yeah.
I'm
You're
thinking.
putting in the effort. You're thinking. You're making choices. You're I don't know if you're storyboarding, but I imagine something close to that. Like you're planning out shots. You're planning out
Can I Can I put you
gimmicks.
on the spot
I
and ask, like, was there a particular video that you went when you watched it and you went, oh, Matt's having some thoughts about what he's making? Was there a particular video? It's okay if there's not.
there was a clear. I think it's the beginning of Shattered Obelisk. I think it's the beginning of Shattered Obelisk was the first one. I don't think it's the first one you were in the studio, but
Mm,
like you're laying out
a
the
bunch of
index
cards.
cards, and you're laying out a
Yeah.
bunch of cards, and you're pointing at them with like a music stand, right? It is like I feel like self-consciously lo-fi, right? You're like, oh, I'm not really trying that
Oh,
hard,
yeah.
but like it's clear that you like the planning that has to go into something like that to just like have the camera where it is. You already knew a bunch of
Mm.
things that you were going to do ahead of time. That was not like it looks organic. And again, I think there is like a self-conscious like ha 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 like I don't know. I don't want to be
Look, there is.
too
There is
hard on
like,
this.
it's so much easier to be deliberately scuffed than to
Yes.
be
Yes.
professional. Have you ever seen
Yes.
like,
You just
if you see somebody trying as hard as they can and at the end of it you go, that kind of sucked. You know what I mean? That's a really bad moment. And if
yeah.
you're the person that's trying as hard as you can to make something as polished as you can, and it still isn't up to par, it's like, damn. And you can't see it when you're in it. When you're making it, you couldn't see that it wasn't up to scratch. Later, maybe looking back when you have 6 months of skill, you would go, oh, that's bad. Have you seen the that old documentary, like 2010 indie game that followed the development of Super Meat Boy and Fez?
Oh my god. I mean, you're ringing some dusty bells. Yes, but
So
whatever,
there's a
15 years ago.
character I say a character rather than a person because, oh my goodness, he's a character. A guy named Phil Fish, and he was going, oh, this game Fez has taken me literally like 8 years, 10 years, however, to make. And the problem is he's doing everything himself, and he would make all the pixel art, and then 6 months later he would go, well, now I'm a lot better at pixel art. Let me remake the pixel art with the knowledge I have now. And then 6 months later he goes, well, now I'm really, really good at pixel art. Let me remake the pixel art that I made at the beginning again. And it just kept on going where like his vision for his project and the skill that he had to execute his project were always misaligned and moving up and down. And that caused him distress. My way to get past that distress of going, I'm not making something that's good enough, is that I go, I'm not going to take myself seriously. I'm going to tell jokes. I'm going to leave mistakes in my videos. All kinds of things. Have you seen XP to level 3 does this? He does videos where it's like, there's a whole one where I'm just laying on the ground. Like that same kind of Runehammer instinct of disdain for the format and that disdain for hearing, you know?
And there's like a level of meta commentary to it. Like it's this like self-aware, it's flirting with irony, but it's it's like, hey, you know what I'm afraid of? What's happening right now. So we're both in on this joke now. Also, I chose this for myself. I don't know why. I think YouTube lends itself to that really well because like if you're most of the time your latest video at least feels like your best video because like you're constantly improving and you just got to send it out there, right? Like that appeals to me because otherwise there's 3 novels that will never be finished because you just tinker with them forever, right? Like YouTube, it's like, all right, something's got to happen by this time next week. Like, got to get something out there.
Man, on today is Saturday for me, and on Thursday, one of my mates, like somebody that used to rent one of the studios next to me, she was an artist. She's now an NDIS support worker, and she goes, hey, one of the people that I'm working with, one of my clients, wants to be a YouTuber and he likes D&D. Can he come tour your studio? I'm like, yeah, come around, take a look at the studio for an hour and a half and I'll answer any questions. And he seemed a little bit worried about like the editing quality of his videos because the only thing he had to edit would be a cell phone. And I was like, hey, don't worry about it because 90% of people don't do shit. And so if you do literally anything, you are beating 90% of the world. Because even people that are talented, there are talented people not doing anything. Just do something and you are running laps around them. Infinitely better. You know? And so that's kind of the way I feel about quality now.
It's good. It's good to zoom out to that because like, hey, 10 people watched your video. You did better than 99.9% of the videos that went up today, right? Like our expectation set. Hey, those words that you said, 50 people listened to, if those 50 people were standing in front of you, that would have like triggered your limbic. You would have freaked out. You would like, you don't want to be in front of, like, if you were on stage and you could actually physically see these people, you would be having a palpable physical response to it. But because it's just a number on a screen, you're like, 50's nothing.
Yeah. And it's like, I couldn't name 50 people. I couldn't name 50 people. And I'm sure I know 50 people, but maybe not. I remember when I did my first video, man, it'd been a week and I was like really happy and I got 60 subscribers in the first week. And I went around to a mate's place for a beer like the week after. I said, yeah, man, I started a YouTube channel. I got 60 subscribers. And he goes, 60,000? I was like, no, 60. 60 people.
I felt good about it until you said 60,000 and now I'm not sure.
Thanks, bro. Do you ever worry about, have you ever published a video? And by the way, it's totally not relatable for us to talk about making videos because people are watching for D&D content if they are. Well, but have you ever published a video
little
and
peek
then
behind the curtain, little inside baseball talk once in a while? That's okay. People are curious.
Like at the moment of publishing, you're putting it out there and you go, I know that this isn't up to my standards. Have you done that?
Man.
I did it this week.
Oh, did you now?
Yeah.
Did you now? Yeah, I have my standards are a moving target. I feel like I make different kinds of videos. Um, it's tough. Oh no, we lost him. We lost him.
That's okay. You keep going.
Okay,
I just got to
here we
press a
go.
button on my camera.
Press some buttons. I have made videos that were like, hey, like in the OGL BS. I didn't really like chase the
Oh,
drama, but
yeah.
once or twice, you know what happened? I had the same conversation with 8 people, right? Like everyone in my life
Oh,
was called. I was just like, I'm gonna make a video about this because I keep saying the same things, and like people are coming to
yes.
me for my opinion on this. So like, okay, so like that like the throwaway one where there was like no production value. I don't even think I scripted the thing. I was just like recorded it. I don't have boogers in my nose. Cool, ship it,
Hmm.
and then those things do gangbuster numbers, and you're like, why am I like maybe I shouldn't be trying to make good stuff because people just want like I don't know. A lot of it's timing. There's a lot of like I don't know. We're trying to please these mercurial digital algorithmic gods sometimes, so it's all very strange. So I try to make stuff that I am happy with myself within. Like I try not to say anything I don't believe. That's kind of the standard I try to hold myself to.
That's a good standard. But
Yeah.
sometimes you're incentivized to not do that. you
Oh
know,
yes, yes.
I remember there was a time back in the day. Like, remember that Far Verona controversy from ye olde times of like maybe 2019. The DM had like a really awkward miscommunication on stream and role played out like a sex scene that was pretty much a sexual assault with one of the players. And the
Yes.
players were signaling to the dungeon master, like giving, if you were in person, you would pick up these signals. It's like,
Mm,
oh, somebody's clearly trying to get my attention and say, like, can we maybe stop this? And they weren't really into the role playing. And maybe it was because they were playing digitally that you can't pick up those social cues or whatever. But the dungeon master kind of pushed through it, and it was so awkward, and nobody was happy with it. And the dungeon master couldn't tell how unhappy everybody was. I made a video about this, and I'm like, do you know what? I had a strong reaction to this. I've been in a situation where like a character of mine has been in like a sex scene that I wasn't really into. And when I
mm.
signaled to the dungeon master, it's like, I kind of don't want to role play this, bruv. He was not open to that. And I accidentally kind of entered his magical realm, I believe. Um, and I was like, look, I've had bad experience with this. So let's make a video about it. And when I made the video, I pretended to be so much angrier or
Mm,
disappointed or like shy. I can't believe a
mm,
dungeon master did this.
mm,
Like I hammed it up because I was like, oh, it's going to benefit me to kind of insert this emotion into the video. And I don't know if it did benefit me. And then when I looked back on the video like a year later, I'm like, this is cringe as fuck. And then I
mm.
privated it.
It is tough because you just like I mean I do it every time at the beginning of the show like it is a performance even a conversation like this like you do have to up the energy a little bit because you're a two-dimensional abstract thing on a screen. It's not the same, so you have to like pump it up a little. And then I don't know, if you're making things on the internet, you're spending more time on the internet. The culture kind of seeps into your bones. It's like, well,
Yeah.
all these other screaming angry people seem to be doing very well, having a good time and getting benefits. So
Look,
maybe I should do
maybe.
that.
That's a good question. Are these other people that are angry doing well? I'm just going to stand up because I'm getting on my bloody soapbox. You know
Do
what I
it.
mean?
Do it. Preach. Preach. I think I mean the numbers do good. I do this instead because it makes me happy. There's more to life than views. We're
Yeah.
walking and talking.
I was just thinking of like that maybe you go, look, this is working for other people. And what you're saying when you say that is like, oh, look, when other people get angry, or like when other people make outrage videos, bloody Wizards of Woke made the OGL again, and now all the orcs are gay. Somebody did something like that, get the outrage,
Hmm.
bigger number, better, baby. But is that actually translating to any kind of useful metric in their life? Like,
Mm,
is
mm,
their community liking them more? Like, where is their bread buttered? My bread butter is buttered in Patreon. So I'm going, Are my patrons happy? Are people going to Patreon? That's the number I care. I could get 100,000 views and not get a single patron. That means that that video was actually functionally worthless to me.
Mm. And it is like those videos that break through and all the angry, like there's a crowd of people who are just looking to yell about stuff, and like I don't love dealing with them. And like there's different versions of them, but like, you know, a video will break through because it hits some algorithmic or like timing aspect of something or other, and then those like, yeah, people are yelling about stuff that like you didn't even talk about. Just like, man, you brought all that crazy with you. Like that wasn't even in the video. I don't know what you're mad at, but it ain't me.
Have you ever seen like somebody talking about, especially in like other YouTube disciplines, people talking about a video has broken containment? Like I made a video specifically about like for all of my furry brothers, and this is about the furry con we went to, and here's my new fursuit, all this kind of thing. And if you're a furry, you're going to go like, oh, I love this. If you think furries are cringe and you share it to your mates, and that's what the YouTube algorithm thinks, it starts recommending it to people that hate furries instead of people that like furries. Like, oh, this video broke containment. It is now being served to an audience who is not going to be charitable to it. And it's being served to them because it elicits a negative emotion. I am so scared of any of my videos ever breaking containment and being seen by people who don't want to see it.
Well, the machine likes it. I think the machine likes it. I think that's something that people don't like. I've had people, I try to earnestly engage with people, even if they're angry about stuff. If I have the bandwidth, right? It's funny actually. You taught me, I believe you called it the grocery store test. Of like if it dings on your phone and you look at it, it makes you go, just like whatever, delete it, fine. But like sometimes, especially if I step in it and it seems like someone's arguing in good faith, let's say, I will engage with otherwise like negative comments. And there was one guy who's like, "Oh, I'm just like tired of hearing about D&D and stuff." I'm like, "Well, you're going to hear about more D&D because you left this comment on this video about D&D. Like this is how, like as an insider, let me tell you how this whole thing works. It doesn't care if you hate it. It actually likes it if you hate it. You're going to keep getting more of whatever you put your energy into." And that's like a perfect metaphor for the rest of life, maybe, but definitely the internet.
That is it. You get, hey, it's like that bucket hat song from the 90s. You only get what you give, baby. You know what I mean? Let's go to the mall and ride the escalator. It was, do you feel that if you get a negative comment, then you can't actually, if somebody said some of the comments that you get, like if you receive those comments in real life, your response would be a lot more directly confrontational than it is when you're like responding from your YouTube channel that's linked to your business and your livelihood, right? Do you kind of like tone it down when you're responding?
I mean, it does cross my mind. I've come to understand that it's almost never about me. And I think the worse it is, the more removed it is from anything I said or did. But yeah, I mean, I watched a guy rant, like watched a 15-minute video of mine and tore it apart for an hour and a half. And
wait, they made a response video to your video?
Yeah, yes. And it's what this guy did. Sure. I made a clip reel because I didn't know how to process it. It's one thing to be like, blah. No, like this guy's video was way longer than mine. And in watching it, I realized like, I would say a thing, he would pause it and he'd be like, "This guy, blah, 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 this is how it should be." And then he would play it, and then it would be like, I would say what he just said. Like he was agreeing with me, but he was like, "Pause. I hate this guy." Because it was like, it was very, it was surreal. And I think there's like an element of like, I don't know, maybe mental illness. Not that I am qualified to diagnose anybody, but they were like, he had subscribers. He had a bunch of comments being like, yeah. Get him. And it was just like a very strange experience. And I think that broke me through to the part of like, I can just like, that's his problem. This is how this guy is spending his time. He spent more time hating that video. Well, no, to be fair, I spent more time making it than he spent hating his. But like, What a miserable
Mhm.
piece of shit. Why are you like, why go find something better to do with your life? Why, how is that feeding your soul?
Mhm.
Or why are you filling your time with that? Like, you know what I do when I hate a video? I stop watching it and watch
Yeah.
something else. Very surreal.
Look,
I'll shoot you over.
I agree. Can I say, like, I agree in principle in that, like, yeah, why wouldn't you just move on? But on the other end, I do love blood sports internet and people screaming at each other and like making hate videos about each other. It is my guilty pleasure. And it's so interesting to me that, like, when you've described, like, hey, I actually accidentally kind of fell into that pitfall of having a hate video made about some of my content. I'm like, I love hate videos. Oh no, hate video about me? How would I feel about that? I don't know. It's so challenging.
Hey man, I talk about potentially fun ways to play games.
Mm.
Like, I'm not deep into, I don't know. I don't know what would warrant that. Like, politics, I guess. I don't know what like hate videos you're watching, but like, I don't know. And I'm not talking about like the latest pop culture drama, anything. Yeah, I guess it is anything. What a dumb world we built. What are we doing?
It's the thing. Sometimes when I get, I love insults. I think insults are really, really funny. And when somebody insults me online, I go, "That's really funny. Loved it. You're banned." Not have, but good job. Um, and sometimes me and my friend from Leboffen, she's like in Australia as well, so we become mates. We'll send like the worst comments that we get to each other and go like, "Hey, check out this one." And one day I was hanging out with her husband, and he says to me, "It's like, hey Matt, sometimes I like scroll through Leboffen's YouTube comments, and somebody said something like really awful to her, and then I scroll down a little bit more." And then directly under their comment, it's you've added that person and said, "Hey, fuck you." I'm like, yeah, it's not my channel. I can have a go at these people.
Oh man.
It's fun. It's fun to get in there.
I'll kill him with kindness sometimes too. I'll show up and be like, "Hey,
right.
just to remind you, I'm also a human, and you're like, I don't know, what you're doing right now is kind of sad. Chill out. Go take a walk."
Dude, that's what Bob does. Bob Worldbuilder, when I was talking about hateful comments with him and sharing some of my favorites to him. And he goes, "Yeah, check out this one. This guy said this, but then I got in this long conversation with him over 10 comments and I won him over." I'm like, I don't want to do that. I want to find somebody.
Yeah, you guys are built.
But that's very on brand for Bob. You know what I mean? Like, he's like, yeah, I'm going to win this person back. And then he does.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it.
Hey, everybody. Bob, he is that nice. That's him. He is who you see on the tin. That's just who that guy is.
It's nice. Funny because, like, I'm so I'm cynical, or maybe skeptical. I don't really actually know the difference between the two words now that I say them out loud. But I usually presume
cynical is like kind of pissed.
Okay. Well, my assumption is that when people behave in any manner, they're doing it because it behooves them in some way. Like, I think people's genuine, most basic motivation is self-interest. And I think that it should be that way. And so when I see Bob being so kind and nice and be like, "Oh, okay." And I didn't hold this against him. I was like, at the time when I first met him, I go, it's an act. That's fine. It's working for him. Still like him. And then over time, he just kept on reinforcing it. I'm like, oh, yeah, no, this is actually him. He can't be any other way. Yeah. I'm the bastard.
Hey man, drop the act. We're friends now. You don't have to pretend to be like kind and compassionate. Like, it's fine. I was
like, come on, man, drop the C-bomb on me. We're mates.
Hit me.
Should we roll your dice? Do you want to start the interview?
No, you're on the other side of the room now. It's cool. We're good. This is
okay.
fun.
Okay, good.
What are you excited about? What do you get up to in there in that studio? I see your Phandalin map. You've been revisiting your last video. Time out. Was the last video the one with the voice actor?
Yeah, I had a voice actor, AJ Winters from.
This is the one that you're not happy. The one that was not up to your standards, where you invented this whole NPC and lines and dialogue and hired an actress to portray them. That's not. Leave something for the rest of us, man. Come on.
I had to I recognized a point when I was in production where I was like, I need to publish this now, or I'm going to find excuses to not publish it for like a week and just keep working on it. I was just like, I just need this off my table so I can put something else on my table because I was starting to resent working on that video. So I just went, no, piss it off, ship it, done. So there's no music, audio's a little bit scuffed. I need to reshoot some stuff. My animation is, and feel free to use a clip from the video if you're going to edit this interview at all.
Not to dunk on you.
It is so scuffed, like the way that I'm roboting around. So I was pissed off about it. You asked, what am I excited about? Well,
Yeah.
So this is like my experimentation week. I break all my time into 1 week of writing, 1 week of production, and 1 week of experimenting. This is experimentation week where I get to do things that don't have any immediate payoff or visible payoff. And like they might pay off later, I don't know, but I'm not going to know until I actually do them. So
R&D.
this week,
That's great.
I've been doing. I've been gluing these cardboard boxes together. I'll come show you on the actual proper screen. One sec.
Just follow. I'm going to interject with a follow-up question here. How much of your time do you spend in that dope red damask wing chair thing that you had going on in the corner?
I work 9 to 4:30, 6 days a week.
In that chair, though, that's a sweet chair you got.
Oh, thank you. I stole it from my day job and then I quit it. So,
did you walk out with it when you quit? It's like, this is mine now. I'm out.
No, I just kind of like asked if I could. Hey guys, I'm working from home. Can I take this home? And they're like, yeah, take the ergonomic chair. And I was like, okay, guys, I quit. Goodbye. These are cardboard cubes, 1 inch in every direction. That's what a cube is for the learned. And this is essentially a battle grid. There's tactile. You can feel the difference in it, right? And then I can glue them together in different configurations. Go, look, here's a corridor. You know, that's a 2-way corridor. Maybe there's a little nub there. That's the washing machine.
Oh, you're running different dungeons than I am. This is the laundry room.
And I've made these extra things that I can slot in here because I had a problem where I would draw a battle map for the players and I'll describe the room. Okay, guys, you enter into a room through this corridor, through a door. It is a 4x4 room. There's a mural over this way. There are stairs leading down over here, and there's a little cave entrance right there. And I'll describe that all to them, and they'd forget that this is a door, and they'd go like, oh, that's a wall there. They'd forget there's a door there. So they think the only way they can go is this direction. So I needed something that I could put on the table and say, these are your options of where you can go. So, one sec. I made this week these little door standees, right? This is just cardboard that I cut up and colored in, and I can just slot it in between, right? Sweet. And so if I hold this up on an angle that you can actually see it, you know what I mean? That's what the players see when it's on the table, just sitting there. And what I also need to do later today is make like an open door version so they can see which doors are open and which doors are closed. Do you like this or is it stupid?
No, I deeply like it. I think it's cool. I don't know if you want input, but my brain is going magnets. Put magnets in them.
That's what my players said as well.
Where
would you put the magnets though?
Inside. I don't know exactly how you put it together, but like
these are hollow.
Yeah. So if they're these buckyballs, I think they were called. They're actually, I think they're illegal in the States now because children would swallow them, and that's a big problem. Oh, but there are super powerful little ball bearing magnets that you might be able to get, on your side. And then it would just like,
I think Australia is actually a lot more regulated than America. Australia actually has like super duper regulation. We have a rule for everything. Yeah.
Yeah. We have poison in our food, but okay, cool. We're also very
poison in our animals.
Litigious. Like someone's 4-year-old ate a magnet and then they put him in MRI and it was awful, and now no one can ever do that. Buy those magnets again.
Okay, so you reckon if I maybe put? Now here's the question though. I got a room here, right? And at the moment, when there's no magnets, I could slot the doors in either any here. I can put corridors coming out any direction, make the room bigger by putting another one of these in. Are you suggesting that I would put like a magnet in each kind of vector, each vertices here,
I
and then it can slot in
suppose
anywhere or at set
so.
points, do you think?
I guess you would need one in every cube or like every edge,
Every edge.
or else you'd be limiting yourself.
Okay.
So it would be a lot. That's why I was like hesitant to like say it because it's like, hey, do you
No,
want
it's
to
good.
quadruple the workload of this very simple thing that you made?
Hey, if you're ever speaking to a man that has glued together and constructed like 1,000 cardboard cubes, and you're going, I think that maybe my suggestion would take too much time or be too tedious. Like, you got to read the room, my friend. I'm down for it.
Well, I'm not saying you're not down for it. I'm saying you have expressed some like perfectionist tendencies. I used to think perfectionism meant what you're talking about, where it's like I'm never finished, right? Like I'm gonna take like this thing is never gonna be up to my standard, so I gotta, perfect is the enemy of done, and
Mm.
I have a streak of that, so I see it. Um,
Look, can I couch that in something like put a balancing weight on the other side of that statement
sure, sure.
and say that on my resume, to this day, under soft skills, one of them is mindless optimism. And
Oh,
I think it's really a skill. And it really comes out in these videos because literally every single video I make, at some point in the production process, I wake up my wife like early in the morning and I go, I think this is the one. I think I've cracked it. And I do it for every video, no matter what. At some point in the process, I convince myself this is the best thing I've ever done.
mm.
So that's kind of like where the perfectionism comes from because I go, well, I love it and I think it's great and I think the project deserves better.
And I hear you, man. Like I understand. Like I got that in me too, and I have my own whatever survival mechanisms to counterbalance it.
Survival.
But it is like that's beautiful. It is because in a way it's true, right? Like the last creative thing you did is the best creative thing you've done so far most of the time because you are constantly improving your skills, but you're also
Mm.
holding yourself to a higher standard in a commensurate way at the same time. So like, I don't know if you could go back to like telling your buddy like, "Hey man, 60. That's 60 subscribers today, like this week."
Yeah.
Yes. Awesome. I'm somebody. I made it. This happened. I did it. More
Yeah.
than zero is a win. Like oh man, I would love that. Like that's and it's good to like get back there once in a while. Just like, yeah, cool. It's one
You're
random
making me feel
person
nostalgic.
on the other side of the planet was like, hey, thanks. I'm going to go have a good time with my friends and family because of this thing that you said now. Like, bing.
Well, and also like thinking about those people that were making, I don't want to say clickbait, but on topic, seasonal, relevant videos about the OGL and getting a shit ton of views.
Mm-hmm.
It's I'm thinking about like what emotional response they're eliciting from the audience and
Mm-hmm.
whether it's like it's not necessarily a good one. Like outrage, maybe it feels good to like to have some kind of vindication or to feel like you're part of like your versus something that feels good, maybe. But the person you described, like one of my first 60 subscribers, that goes, "Oh, cool. I was worried about running a wild sheep chase, but I saw your video that looked dog shit, but said like you gave me good advice." And I clicked subscribe. That person had like a real positive interaction, and it makes me think that like I said that like my bread is not buttered on YouTube; it's buttered on Patreon. I don't get a lot of YouTube views. You know what I mean? I released a video, got 1,000 views, and I've been doing this for 7 years. Like that's those are dismal numbers. 1,000 views for a video is not enough to go, yeah, I'm going to quit my job and steal a chair and get a studio. If somebody giving me those numbers, I'd say, dog, you got to talk to your family. You need an intervention. Okay. But for some reason, even though it's only 1,000 people watching, like a massively high percentage of them have had a positive emotional connection to the videos where they started watching a video and going like, I'm really worried, I'm feeling bad, I'm anxious about this D&D campaign, and then they watch it and they go, oh, you took away my anxiety, you took away like the bad feeling I had about running this game, and they're grateful for that. And so I think that's why they joined Patreon. And like that's such a strong, like if you met somebody, if I met a girl and I was single and I was feeling anxious and she took away that anxiety, like that's literally how people fall in love. Like people form lifelong bonds based on, I had a negative emotion and you took it away and replaced it with something good, thank you. Like that gratitude, that's love. And I don't think you get that from going Wizards of Woke, all the orcs are gay now. Like you can't do that.
Yeah, it's.
Do you think about the emotional journey of the people that watch your videos?
Sometimes, some of the videos, yeah. Like, I'm concerned for them in this one, but in general, in the educational stuff, yeah. Because it's funny. You and I connected because of the people. I made a starter set thing to like very like early on. It's like this is where newcomers are going to come in, and everyone was like, oh yeah, like Matty P said to do this. I was like, Matty P. I was like, oh hey man.
Oh, cool.
And then it was right before the Dragons of Stormwreck Isle came out, and you're like, I can't get it for 6 months before America. I was like, I'll send you one. Like,
oh yeah, that's right.
I'm good, bro. But like, and then we worked on something for your Patreon actually, which I'm still very proud of. We did a cool like dragon ritual thing for that.
Yeah. Hey, I'll send that too. You're welcome to. You wrote it. You're welcome to share that with your patrons as well. No problem.
Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, I shall. Yeah, cool. Appreciate that. Yeah, that is. I mean, like legally yours. So that is very kind of you.
Oh yeah. I cast power word license.
Check. Did I get that on? Is that recorded? Hold on. For legal reasons.
Kill it. Cut the interview.
Junk. Lost my train of thought there. Oh, but we're both in a space where we have, I think, interfaced with a lot of new people stepping into this hobby for the first time, especially behind the dungeon master screen. It can be quite intimidating, and it's the best. It's the best. And sometimes I do, when I make videos for them, I try to put myself in their shoes as much as possible, not assume that they know just even like all the jargon and references, let alone like the technical details of anything. So I try not to overwhelm them with the BS and get to the heart of the matter. That's going to get them playing and learning and having a good time and like get their teeth into it so they can keep doing it. And there are times like I'm going to get back to that pretty soon. Now that there's a new edition, there's a new starter set coming out, if maybe whatever, like pretty soon I'm going to get back to talking about those big adventure books, because I am concerned about the new person who picks the book up off the shelf for the first time, types D&D into the internet, and gets just like a nerd food fight. It's just like, oh, this is not for me. This is not this is not a good scene here. You know, the OGL, when it was popping off, I was like, hey, this is a thing. Like I just said, I said it to 20 people via text messages and phone calls and at the game shops. I was like, I'm going to say this once forever, and now I can just send people a hyperlink. But then we won. We won. It went into Creative Commons years ago. It's over. Yeah, they're jerks. Cool. Don't give them money. Fine. Great. Make cool stuff. Just make cool stuff and talk about that instead. What are we doing? Like, I'm so tired of it. And I think it's over. I think it's basically run its course. But
the OGL drama? Yeah, some people, there's a couple of what do you call the term when like a soldier doesn't know the war's over and they keep fighting?
Oh, it's like that one Japanese soldier who was like they pulled him off in like the 70s. Soldier.
Like they're in Winter Soldier, I think is what they're called. The old Bucky Barnes. So there are a couple of Winter Soldiers there in the OGL drama where they're like, I can't believe Wizards did this and this is OGL over again. I have to remind them on Twitter. I'll respond to their comments and be like, hey, just to remind you that they released it under Creative Commons, which is way more than we asked for, and they're committed to doing that forever. It was the most generous thing they could do in regards to this possible. It's so generous that we didn't even think to ask for it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Unthinkable. And unimaginable.
And people be like, yeah, they're real greedy. They're real stingy with their licensing. I'm like, they're the most open they can be with it without making themselves go out of business.
And
They're so open.
hey, bro, talk about something else then. Like you
Yeah.
talk that no press is bad press. You talking about how evil the Monopoly man is every week is just feeding that machine. And I'm more
Mm.
interested in the people watching it, right? The person making it. Some of them are trapped, right? I'm at the luxury of like I don't need the YouTube dollars to pay the bills. I don't need the sponsorship. So like if you need to get your 10, 20,000 views in every week, then like and that is what does it now. Okay, I have some
Mm.
sympathy for people in that position. But like dang, who's watching that video every week? Like why is that? How is that your entertainment?
And for context, like if you get 20,000 views, you're probably not making bank. You know what I mean? I
No, but you're
think.
getting like sponsorships, right? Maybe not like Google, like not like AdSense revenue, but like I don't know.
Look, from being on this end, I've seen a lot of people be like, I'm full time. I'm a YouTuber. And I go, oh, don't do that. Like I'm looking at your numbers and being like, buddy, don't do that. Don't do that. Like the idea of going, I have to get 20,000 views a month. And that I reckon that's probably like what, like $200 max, maybe $150, 150 bucks in ad revenue, US.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah. Yes, AdSense. Hey, everybody. AdSense pays very little. Google is not funding our like. Google pays my electric bill, and I am very happy about that. But that's all
mhm.
it pays, you know.
But like people that are making those viral videos, like they're not getting patrons, I don't think. And sponsors, yeah, but look, the most I've ever charged for a sponsor was $500 US, and I didn't expect them to pay it.
Mm.
Um, I was very surprised when they said yes. Um, and I can't imagine many people in D&D space making more than that for a single sponsorship. $500 US is a great amount of money. Like that's a week's wage. Happily, comfortably. Um, but imagine having to find a sponsor that's going to pay you a premium every week. Like that sounds like a miserable job. You sounds like you like, oh yeah, I quit my day job for what? A worse job. A job that's
I guess it
harder,
depends. It depends what you started at too. I guess as well.
maybe.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, not naming names. I'm not. We're not going that far down this road.
Oh,
But
also, I
like,
don't know names. I
oh,
just
that's
have
good.
like I just have like a directionless fiscal worry for other people. You know
Oh,
what I mean?
mm-hmm,
It's
mm-hmm.
tricky. It's tricky. We were talking about audiences, and I was asking you about, are you aware of the emotional journey of your audience? Do you know what kind of content you make? Like you have an image of the people that make your life easier, like in your audience. Do you know which content you make that serves them and makes them happy?
Yes, yes. I think there's two. I think there's two main threads to my audience, and it's a lot of new people, and then some of those new people come into the second bucket, and they're more interested in like homebrew and creativity, and like I talk a
Mm,
lot about like emergent play,
uh-huh.
the the magic of it all. But the videos that the vertically table videos that do the best are the here's how to play this thing that you probably just bought.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the I don't know if that like packs the most emotional impact because I did make a
Mm-hmm.
there was a string of videos when I didn't know what else to talk about because I didn't want to talk about the drama anymore. It's like here's the good stuff. Like here's the
Yeah.
reason it is actually worth it to carve out 3 hours to go play pretend with your friend, even if you're a grown up. I made a bunch of
Yeah.
those, and they didn't do well, but like, woo, was that like felt good making them, and the people who saw them loved them. But like, I think YouTube doesn't know what to do with
Well,
feel good
I would
content.
challenge you. I'm going to challenge you on that phrase, do well. I don't think they did well. You can say, like, I don't think they didn't get a lot of views.
Okay.
but they probably did great for you. You know what I mean? They might have been the best thing you've ever done for yourself.
Oh, it's interesting.
Because they might be the best thing that you've done for the people that want to support you, and for people, well, like the people you want to support, that want to support you. Um, it's so fucking challenging, man. I
Yeah. I
sometimes
mean,
go,
same for you, man. Like, it seems like you asking me that question implies that like you do you think a lot about that? Or you like that's in your
yeah,
process, like the emotional journey that you are producing in your video is something that's like top of mind for you.
yeah, 100% top of mind. Look,
Yeah.
okay, if somebody types in how to run Lost Minds of Fan Delver, do you think that they're scrolling through a list and going, I'll watch this one? They're not. What they do is they go, how to run Lost Minds of Fandelver. Give me that middle button on my mouse. New tab, new tab, new tab, new tab, new tab. They've queued up 10 videos and they are just control tabbing through them and being like, okay, Matt Colville says that I have to do voices. Okay, Ryan from Vertigree Table says that I have to know the stat blocks. Okay, Matt Mercer says that I need to buy Dwarven Forge and have good props and play experience. And do you know what they're looking for? They're looking for someone just to go, all right, buddy, you got to chill out. It's gonna be okay. You're playing with your friends. You're gonna fuck it up, and your friends are gonna forgive you, and you're all gonna be better friends for it. And when they get to my video, I'm hoping I'm the video that they've just watched in 10 after having 10 other expert dungeon masters just whip them into an emotional anxiety frenzy. And I go, nah, man, you're good. And they go, oh, finally, I'm freed from having to watch all these videos. That's I imagine that emotional state when I make a video. And a lot of the times the first thing I say, like the first thing I said in this recent video about role playing a character in Phandalin, I said, hey, you're probably entering Phandalin. Don't worry, it's going to be fine. That's the first sentence I said. Hey, don't worry, it's going to be okay.
It's gonna be cool. You got this. You got this.
So I do, and like I don't know empirically if that is the correct profile of the person that's watching my video, but it is the profile that I would have had when I was starting D&D, and that's what I did. I even sent Matt Colville a DM when YouTube had DMs, being like, "Matt Colville, I need help. I've just started like an immediate parasocial relationship, and going, I need help. My players are being problems. I don't know what to do. Blah blah blah." And I'm pretty sure that like the DM feature on YouTube was like a next to defunct feature at that point. So who knows if you even got it. But I hope that never comes up of me panically sending a message to an influencer going, please help me, Dungeon Daddy.
I'm sure you were not the only one in that bucket. Oh man. But that's I mean, I think that's the best thing you can do. I strive for that a lot of times in those educational videos. Like the thing I can be the most certain about are the questions that I had starting from zero. Because like that's part of the reason I decided to do a YouTube channel. Is like I haven't been playing for 40 years. I'm sorry I wasn't in Wisconsin in 1981, whatever. Like,
Yeah.
apologies for my birthday, I guess. And like I taught the first time I ran D&D, and the next 30 times I ran D&D, I ran it and I taught it to 6 other people who had never played it before. And I did that as a grown up with a job and responsibilities and like what rent to pay, like whatever. I did it by myself in a vacuum, and like it was fine. And like I figured out some speed bumps that like maybe I could help you out with, but like that's who I try to get myself in that mindset, opposed to like allow me to indoctrinate you in the one true way to play the game that's only gonna appeal to the wisest among you. It's like there's 100 ways to do it and you're gonna figure out yours by playing it. So like just start. I'm gonna try to make it easier and smoother for you, but like you might want different things from this experience than I do, because this is 17 different games and hobbies held together with duct tape and bubblegum. You're over there making cubes, and like perfectly reasonable. Like that's part of it. That's part of D&D. Someone else would pick up their guitar and write a song about their bard character, and like that's part of D&D. Like it's all things to all people. Find out what you like about it.
I try and put like the caveat in there when I do give advice. I go like, listen, I know my players, and if like one thing in this latest video I said, here's 7 different quest hooks with 7 different characters that give these quest hooks, and that's probably going to be 5 to 6 actual scenes, discrete scenes of conversations playing out. For my players, that's going to take them about 20 minutes per role-playing scene, including like the faff around time and, allowing time for error. So that's probably like 2.5 hours of straight character-to-character role-playing. And if I put that in front of my players for a session, they would get fatigued, And so I say, I'm trying to mitigate a problem at my table, knowing my players. And that, I'm really glad when I get comments saying, hey, you said that it would take 2.5 hours to role play. That's what my dickheads want. That's what my table of degenerates, that's what they like.
Yeah. And it's, I think running for a lot of different people and a lot of different kinds of people, and especially over time too, because like the same table is going to want different things on different nights, right? Like, hey, bro, I had a rough day at work. I know that like we're at this like real emotional touch point, and I'm usually like pushing for that, but like I just want to curb stomp some goblins today because I don't got it in the tank to do anything else. Awesome, cool, roll initiative, let's go. Like,
yeah,
that's all right.
You made me think. Then I don't know why this popped into my head, but I was thinking about a conversation that I had with Robert Hartley from New Zealand. He's been like a really helpful person in my life, really helpful creator. I asked him once, I'm like, where are you putting your energy in trying to improve? And I was asking kind of like a content creator question, like where are you challenging yourself? Where are you trying to stretch out? And he said, I am trying to be the best dungeon master I can. He goes, I want to be like an expert, world-class dungeon master. I'm like, it never even occurred to me to try and get better at that. You know what I mean?
What?
Never even occurred to me to be like that was an option. I'm like, oh, maybe I could get better at the game, and that would make me give better advice. I'm only thinking about like, how am I delivering my message? What's my production? What's my presentation? I never thought about skill. And maybe it's because like I'm never presenting myself as any kind of expert. Like I'm an expert at hanging out with my friends, and that's it. But I thought it was such a cool answer. I'm like, fuck, maybe I should be trying to get better. Like, are you trying to get better as a DM ever, or do you not?
Absolutely, yeah. It comes in waves, but I will. Sometimes I'm like going after the thing that I feel like is the chink in my armor, like the weakness in my repertoire, whatever. More often, in general, I'm going after the thing that I am not satisfied with in the system or like during the night or whatever. So like a lot of the early stuff that I made, like product wise, was exploration based, random encounter based. Because like, hey, this sucks and could be good, and like so I just like tried a bunch of different things, made a version that worked for me, made it that better, and then like made it fit for human consumption, so like another human being could take the thing that I made and understand how to use it. Right, that's a big part of the process too, and I see like getting caught on that because that's such a fascinating part of the process. It's like the thing that happens between you and I was like, hey, I made this cool thing, and like, do you think it's cool? Can I make it cooler for you? And like, here's all these different like tools and techniques to work on that. But I do go after, yeah, improving my game, because I feel like I really need to work at a thing in order to even like have the right to pretend to talk about it. Like to get up on the internet and be a talking head. Like there's a bunch of games that I played that I haven't played enough to like make a video about. And people ask me about them all the time. I was like, I hem and haw, and I'll tell you what I think about it. But like, I need to run a thing for months to like know it inside and out, to be like, here's the talking head internet opinion of the thing, which is something maybe I'm going to re-examine soon. But I will say the flip side of it all, if you're starting out and you go to the master, you're speaking different languages. Like that person is probably not going to even be like conscious of how to talk to you unless they're a master educator as well as a master craftsman of whatever we're talking about. Like that person has a much harder time relating to you. You want the guy who's like 1 or 2 clicks above you on the steps. That's the person who
Yeah.
knows where you're at, what you're about to face. So I think there's
I
value in
love
that
that.
too. Yeah.
Hey, the world needs confident amateurs like me.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Um,
like,
look,
it's such a
I would
weird.
have
You've been
thought,
doing it for 7 years. This is such a weird place where it's just like, yeah, sorry, I just started. I've been doing this for a decade. Like, it's such a weird. No other like hobby is like that. I've been like noticing it more and more lately. Now that like, all the 5e people grew up. It's like, I'm sorry, I've only been doing this for 10 years. I guess I should go sit in the corner and let the grown-ups talk. It's like 10 years,
yeah,
10 years, bro. Like you're good. You got it.
it's I think it's funny. You and I were talking about this pre-show where I was talking about this is either a webcomic
Mm.
that I saw or it's a webcomic idea that I had and I'm too scared to make it in case I'm accidentally plagiarizing it. But panel one is one character says, I've been playing D&D for 40 years. And panel two is the other character saying, oh, so you haven't read the rule books for 40 years. Got it. You know what I mean? Like, but like, is that really, if you've been playing the same way for 40 years, but the way of playing has changed, does that qualify you as an expert? You're an expert in your game and that's it. And your game is probably different from other people who've been playing for 40 years as well. I don't know. It's weird. It reeks of insecurity. I diagnose a lot
Ah,
of stuff as insecurity in other people. Maybe it's like pot kettle black, who knows? But it
no, but it is. It's like a weird. It's like the masculine nerd urge to be like, I know what I'm talking about and you don't. Like it's. I think it's antiquated.
yeah,
I think it's dying out. I think it's a generational thing that we've kind of don't
dude, I
do as much anymore.
I
But
would have
like,
thought that, but like I see it. Maybe it's just the kind of voices that get promoted on Twitter now. But
oh
like
well,
I see so
yes.
many like huge accounts just being like such bastards. One of them,
Hmm.
I'll name names. I'm coming here for the drama. One of them is a documentary. There's a documentary that I saw get like funded on Reddit or Kickstarter or something. It looked great. It's called Secrets of Blackball. And now whoever has that account on Twitter just says like the meanest things to people about
Really?
like, I've been playing for 40 years. Look at this person getting into the hobby that I love. How dare they? You know what's happening?
The gatekeeping is so weird. Also, hey guys, here's the thing. And guys, right? I've never had this from a woman and like I'm an ally. I'm egalitarian. I'm sure there's some woman out there who's doing it too. But like it's hey bro, if you've been playing the same game and hasn't changed at all in tone, in content, in nuance, and technique since you were 12 years old playing in some basement somewhere, good for you. I want none of that. I don't care. I don't want to know what you're doing with Mage Hand. Like get out of here. Like that's cool when you're with those people to make those jokes again if you're in that space. But like, yeah, if you're in a public setting, you're telling some like 12-year-old fart joke with
Mm.
strangers in mixed company. Like, yeah, people might get weirded out and not want to join you.
Oh
And
yeah,
then
I
that's
see
when
what
it
you mean.
clicks where it's like, no, that's their problem, not mine. Because I've been doing this for 40 years and having a great time. Like, grow
Yeah,
up.
it's tricky, and I guess you're kind of pointing out the fact that there is a tone in some old school stuff that is kind of juvenile. The
Yeah.
best video I've ever seen about that and best explanation was from like a board game channel. They do mainly board game things. And the main thing they pointed at from like old school gaming to illustrate that it's maybe it's like a little bit kind of weird, this give it a couple of red flags, is they just pointed about the prevalence of the belt of like gender reversal. And like you'll see it in like maybe Baldur's Gate 1, you can find a belt that changes your character from man to woman, woman to man. And they were just talking about the way that emerged in gameplay, how it was always usually used to do something sexist.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
I don't, like, you know what I mean? I don't care about sexism. I don't care about anything. You know what I mean? If anything, if you're in a social situation and you can say a joke or something and it lands, great. If it doesn't land, that's when you're in trouble, right? Um, and like, I don't usually enjoy any kind of sex jokes. And I say that to my players, like, hey guys, just maybe keep toilet humor or sex jokes to a minimum. Maybe like if you wouldn't say it at work, maybe don't say it here. But invariably somebody's going to make a dick joke. And when they do, I go, oh, that's funny. That's funny in context. I would never repeat that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it feels like that last phrase in that sentence, that's funny in context, but I would never repeat that. That I would never repeat that part is kind of lost in the vibes of the old school gaming. It's like, yeah, we were hanging out, we were being bros, we were telling fart jokes and sex jokes and stuff. But yeah, that's fine. But like, that's not the point of the exercise.
There's a
And
time and a place.
It's not a load bearing element of the exercise either.
And it becomes their whole, yeah, it becomes load bearing. It becomes their whole thing. Their whole identity is like, no, this is funny. You just don't get it. It's like, no, I get it. It's funny if you do it well. Like, oh, you said this thing and nobody laughed. Yeah, maybe it's not as funny as you think it was. Maybe it was funny in 1994 when you were 12. Yeah. Like, I think there's a lot of that. And there's a lot. I mean, like we do dumb shit all the time. Like but the game I play online with my friends is different. Like I will make a different joke and use different words than at the game shop where there's a 12-year-old at the next table. You know, like you just read the room. There's context is important, and a person I've been playing with for a decade and a person who I just met, I'm gonna adjust my behavior a little bit because I have mirror neurons. I'm capable of compassion. I, can project myself into other people's experiences, which I think is kind of like central to the whole exercise of role playing. It's like getting into someone else's mind.
It's look, and because I just said something that was like anti old school, let me try and look at the other side of the coin as well and try and be a little bit fair and say, so I think they're wrong about those kind of vibes being like load bearing to the hobby, or like the integrity of a module is based on it holding no punches or whatever. I also think they're right in saying that it's probably not the job of a module to make sensitivity decisions for the dungeon master. I think it's okay for a module to present something that might be like, oh, that's actually a bit spicy and I don't want that in my game. I think it's okay for a book to say, do this, and the dungeon master says, I don't want to do this. Mm-hmm. I think that's okay. But that spiciness is not integral. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to think of like an example.
And if something's spicy, it says so on the label. If you're like, ooh.
That is true.
This is a plain potato chip. Like, I like spicy stuff, but like, don't sneak up on me with it, right? Like, if I think this is a plain potato chip and it is spicy, I'm gonna be like, whoa, okay. And someone sitting next to me who doesn't want spicy stuff should have the option.
Do you know what it also gets into? Like, it used to be you would buy a book and that is the book, and the only way that book is going to change is if there's a second edition or a reprint, and even then they're probably just going to add in more errors. Come on, it's TSR. But now it's like, oh, we're Wizards of the Coast and we have D&D Beyond. Yeah, we're not going to do a second edition of Storm King's Thunder, but we are going to make subtle changes to the files and you can't access the old files. And so when I make my Storm King's Thunder videos and I type up my notes from the book, because if I have a computer screen in front of me with a web page, then I'm not going to do my writing. So I work from the book and I type up the titles of all the rooms and I'm like, here's the slave quarters, here's the slave pens, here's the other third thing on my list of 3 that has a spicy word in it. And then I go, all right, let me find that on D&D Beyond. Oh, it's prisoner quarters now. It's prisoner pens. Okay. Those aren't the same word. Like those aren't the same word functionally. Those are actually different stories. A prisoner and a slave is a different thing. And you would interact with those two concepts differently in gameplay. They like sensibility actually changed the story in a way that seems like, no, look, it's just an aesthetic change, but it's not. It's a functional change. And it's okay to write a story that doesn't have those slave connotations. I think that's okay. But they wrote the story that had the slave connotations and then hot swapped in prisoner. I'm like, that's a different fucking story. You know?
And it's the bad guys doing it.
Yeah.
Like, this is, I don't know.
Do you have any thoughts about that? Like, that's the one thing I'll give the old school people about sensitivity in these books.
And it's like I don't even like the word old school being attached to it. It is now because that's how they fly the flag. But like I love old school play. I like stakes. I like low magic. Like I ran old school essentials for years. Like I like old school.
Mm.
I don't like accidentally hurting people's feelings when I'm trying to show them a good time. You know,
Yes.
that's the difference. So like I hear you. There's definitely I think there's an overcorrection, and maybe it's necessary. I hate it. I like physical
Mm.
books because I hate the idea that like, oh yeah, sure, give me money, but it ain't yours. I'll go and tinker with it whenever I want to. Like I don't
Yeah.
like that bothers me so much. Maybe that makes me old school. I don't know. I'm an old man now. It's like give me a dead tree. Can't change.
Give me a dead tree.
But I'm okay. Like you're gonna murder this guy. Are we going to talk about this? Is a game about murdering stuff
Yeah.
all day. That's all. I mean, that's why you're here. You're here to murder things. And this guy that you're about to murder is a little too evil. Like, I think it's actually better if he's more evil because you're
Yeah.
about to murder him. And then ask the dungeon master if you can remove his heart and craft it into some sort of magical chalice. Like,
Yeah.
it's dark. It's on the
Chalice of the dickhead. Thank you.
So like I don't know. It does get weird when you're pulling punches in a game about murdering stuff.
Is but it's a kind of thing where it's like it's such a social game and it's such a social skill and it's a social game with social skills literally designed for and by people that probably don't have the best social skills. Do you know what I mean? So like I can see the game giving me something spicy. Um, and if I was bad at reading people or I have a habit of sometimes saying the wrong thing in a social situation, I could say that wrong thing in the wrong way. And even in a charitable crowd, be like, oh, I just made Saturday afternoon weird accidentally, you know?
But
And
I think
so,
there's a go on.
no, please, please. I like your ideas better than mine.
Oh, now I don't know what to say. No, but there's like a secondary social skill to like dealing with that situation. Like, oh, like I read this box text. I didn't realize that it was going to make you feel some kind of way. Now you feel some kind of way. Like I think peak social whatever ability score increase equals like now what? Now dealing with that situation like adults where we can
Oh, yeah.
resolve that. Like that's tough. And I think being in a hobby that is it's no longer like on the fringe, it's no longer an edge thing, but like to a degree
Mm.
it's a refuge for weirdos, right? And like takes one to know one. I am one. It's my favorite part of this whole thing in a lot of ways. So like you deal with a lot of folks with like different levels of social graces and also just like different expectations too. Like the more different kinds of people you interact with, the the less I'm confident about like what is cool and acceptable and like funny. And once you like humor, a lot of humor is like transgression. So like you got to know where the line
Yeah, that's a
is
good point.
before you know how far over you're going because it's so like when I don't we didn't go to elementary school together, right? So
Yeah.
like we don't have that shared experience to start. You just got to be a little more cognizant of that.
And like those social standards do change. Isn't it
Hmm.
weird to think that like so we have a game that is built on social interactions, okay? We know that society and society sensibilities change. Like I don't need to illustrate that at all. It just changes over time. And I think everybody kind of accepts that. Everybody has something in the past that they probably go, that's probably good that we don't have that one anymore. You know what I mean? They might have some things where they go like, it's maybe we went too far on that, but everyone has something where they go, glad we don't have that one anymore. And it's probably like polio. um,
Well, apparently not over here, but let's not get
oh,
into
yeah,
that.
sorry, mate. Condolences,
No,
commiserations.
it's cool.
Anyway,
Yeah.
from
Send me
Australia,
directions. I
over
might be coming
polio
over.
free.
Yeah. Germ theory apparently is under question again. But sorry.
But it's like, no, you're good. So it's like social things change. We're playing a social game, but we're also playing a game that has rules. Rules kind of don't change. And if I was playing the same set of rules, I've been playing for 40 years. I've been playing D&D -1. This is D&D from when Gary Gygax, he made it when he was a pooper, a pupa. He's in his pupil stage. So it's like just pre-cog D&D. Yeah, you haven't heard of it. And the rules haven't changed. But for some reason, I have to play it differently now because social rules around me have changed. I can imagine that disconnect being really uncomfortable and actually being pissed off about it. I'm playing the same game and the rules haven't changed, but you're telling me the rules have changed. It's challenging.
Yeah, I mean,
do you feel
that is a convincing
uncharitable
argument
towards that? Do you want to challenge me on it? Do it.
Yeah, because like I don't know, chess, poker, right? There are older games that haven't changed, and like what is cool or not cool to say to the guy on the other side of the table has progressed over time. Yes.
Question. Let me fix my camera as I ask my question.
Shoot.
The social rules in chess have changed.
Also that.
What do you mean we can have women grandmasters now? That's not appropriate. But that's a legit, that is actually something. It's like, that's the social change, and the rules haven't changed, but the game has changed. Yes. And people are fighting, you know what I mean?
And I'm always so suspicious of that. As a man who enjoys the company of women and has played a lot of games with them, like, it has enriched my experience of D&D. Why... Hey, maybe if women don't want to play D&D with you, it's you, bro, and not D&D. Just saying.
And look, I don't need to bring that up as to argue that point, but I am saying that here's an instance where we have the game of chess and people think that should actually be separate and protected from any advances of society. You know what I mean? Like, it's great that women have the vote. It's great that women can work, all this kind of stuff. Yeah, women power, but chess is for the boys. The boys play chess. And like, it's the same thing. Look, hey, it's great that people aren't dropping slurs all the time. It's great that people aren't being sexist in public and doing fart jokes all the time. But D&D is for the boys, and we've been playing this way for 40 years, and I think there should be a safe space for us to be awful sometimes.
And it is. And it's your tiny room.
I imagine people are saying.
And that's there. Like, if it's you and your 5 buddies forever just hanging out around the table, like, no one's knocking on your door being like, that was an inappropriate joke. It's when you start carrying that out and shoving it in people's faces in the comment section or something. Like, I don't know. It doesn't feel, the threat feels so paranoid and imaginary to me, right? Like, buy the book. It doesn't matter if they change what happens on D&D Beyond. Hey, D&D Beyond kind of sucks anyway right now.
Oh, dude.
That's the worst. I'm trying to get all my players off of it. I hate it. It stops you from learning anything. And now the functionality is bunk. But like,
doesn't work. It was really good when there was like 10 books, and then 11, it just went, all right, who cares?
Too many things. We fired half the staff and no one knows how to do SQL anymore, and it's over. Play your game. That's the secret. You don't need the books, especially if you've been playing for 40 years. I doubt you're referencing much of anything. You need a piece of paper and a pen, and no one's coming for you. Have fun. Do your thing. Cool.
I like that you used the word threat, because that's the way, like, it's like, I'd like to think sometimes I think it's like defensiveness, but they're acting in self-defense because they do feel threatened. And I try really, really, really hard to try and get like a theory of mind of people, and like just think about like their emotions, right? The way they're feeling and how that influences the way they're behaving.
I like that about you.
And I don't know, like, I'm trying to think if I had like a hobby that I loved that was being like changed in a way where people would, are people telling them they're wrong? Are people telling them, hey, you shouldn't play that way? Or are they imagining, if somebody were to tell me don't play that way, I would feel bad, so I'm going to preempt it and say, you know what I mean? Because I don't know, like there is a meme, there's an archetype of the woke scold, right?
Mm.
Someone that's like so socially enlightened that they think it's their duty to go and like correct the behavior in others. And that kind of archetype has existed forever. You know, that
Hmm.
is progressiveness, and these people are just more aggressive advocates of progressivism. But are these people attacking the old school grognards? I don't know. Maybe they are. I wouldn't
I
actually mind talking to them and working out like what their experience has been.
like what is the percentage of like aggression? Yeah,
Mm,
it does. I mean, okay, clearly like I have my own biases here, and they're showing, and that's fine. I'm proud of them. I've thought myself into these positions, but like the the amount of gatekeeping, I should say, gatekeeping, and like this is I'm a pretty close to damn middle aged straight white dude. You know, like I'm not
mm,
super sensitive to these things in the receiving end, but like the amount of bullshit gatekeeping seems way more to me than
mm.
like I don't know. No one's ever. I haven't seen it, and okay, that's my limited experience. But like, I've played a bunch of games with a bunch of people in a bunch of states, in a bunch of venues, in public and private, and like, and I've seen some weird shit that we don't need to get into. But I've never seen that. I've never seen like I've seen people excuse themselves because it's like not a good fit for them, and sometimes I worry like, okay, has somebody left and never come back because somebody said some shit that like really hurt them and they didn't address it? Like, maybe.
Now, is this an instance of like a player has been upset with something that happened at the game table and then left? Or is this in a sense where like a player has been like, oh, hey, this table's too woke for me, I'm out? Like which version are we thinking?
I've been I've seen the two woke, and I'd like test for that, right? A little bit. Like I moved to a new place. I started a game down at the local game shop. Didn't know anybody, so I was like, "Hey, strangers on the internet, come play D&D with me. I really hope you're not available to play D&D because no one else wants to play D&D with you. Let's find
Yes.
out." I'm running a one shot, and I had amazing luck. Some of my best friends now I met a few years ago through that process. It's been great, but there were a couple people who we didn't vibe. We didn't vibe, and that is okay. They can go play their version of D&D. I don't think they're a bad person because it's very important for them to like have very powerful misogynistic overtones be part of the entertaining thing they do every week. Like maybe they're a bad person. I don't know, but like not my problem.
Yeah.
Go do that. Just like I don't want you to do that here because I want my wife to be able to come
Yeah.
next time. You know, like please take that elsewhere. That's fine. Um so yeah,
It's
I've had a
I
lot
really
of that.
like a term you just said, by the way. I just want to address it. You said it's important to them to have misogynistic overtones. I thought like, oh, that's a funny thing to say. And then I thought about it a bit more. I'm like, maybe it is important to them.
It
You know what I mean?
is.
Like, it's like, are they like, is that the way they speak at work? Maybe they speak that way at school. You know, like in the places, maybe that's part of their personality. And I'm trying to think about whether it would be worse if it's like, no, no, no. This is a behavior that I reserve for when I'm down the pub with the boys or when I'm playing D&D, and I behave differently at work or in school or in church.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't know which is better. Mm.
I'm like, it's fine with your boys. I mean, maybe I don't even know if it's fine with your boys, but it's like it's not my problem. Like, I'm not your boy yet, right? Like that
Your boy,
I'm not your boy. That joke ain't
I'm not
landing.
your boy.
I'm not your boy. I want to bring my wife. This dude wants to bring his daughter. And like as the dungeon master, like I have some social responsibility here to like govern this, if not police
Mm.
it, right? Like I want to create a space where you can bring your kid, right? Like I want
Mm-hmm.
to run that table. And if you saying weird shit about women is going to prevent that from happening, it's almost beside the point if I don't like it, if it's making me uncomfortable,
And
which it does.
and
It's not my
can I just
favorite. Like,
kind of say like, if we're saying like, oh, someone is saying weird shit about women, like when we say that, my mind immediately goes to the worst thing. It's be like, yeah, I got a character. His catchphrase is "Women shouldn't vote." I'm like, okay, well, that's probably not okay.
That's
Maybe your
fairly
character should have a
mild.
different catchphrase, like or "Walla Walla Bing Bang." But like, it can just be like culturally, as much as like, oh, I remember once my players rescued a prisoner and she escaped. She's like, oh, thank you so much. And one of my players goes, oh, how hot is she? I'm like, that's a weird question to ask. You know what I mean? It's like, is that misogynistic? Maybe. Is it problematic? Probably not. Is it just a little bit weird? It's definitely a little bit weird. I did get my player just go, just roll a d20. And he goes 16. I'm like, she's a 16 out of 10. He goes, wow. I'm like, yeah, beautiful.
Yeah. And this I don't want to get into like details, but like, not, it wasn't subtle. It wasn't like, is this NPC attractive? It was like, you know, some like 90s comedy bit that like wasn't land. Oh, women. Okay. It's like, and dude was younger than me too. It's like, I don't know where this kills, but like, this is not the audience. I don't know, bro. Get like,
he got a solid 10 minutes.
Chill. And like, it was his opening act. I just met you, dude. Like, what are you gonna say when you're comfortable with me? Like, this is your icebreaker. So yeah, it's out. I've got
a great icebreaker about immigration.
Yeah, dude. It's like, I don't know. And again, we're in a public setting with like fairly diverse mix of people, all ages and backgrounds and orientations, and like, even if like it is just like your four buddies sitting at a table in a coffee shop, there's other people around you that you know nothing about. Just be a little chill.
Thinking again about like the behavior of some of like the anti 5e modern D&D crowd. I won't say the old school crowd, because there are definitely new school DM players that just don't like the vibes, right? I don't understand. I can give no charitability to their reluctance and resistance to the idea of a session zero, which is just like such a reasonable thing to have, because they mischaracterize session zero as being like, this is the players controlling what can be in your game. Like, it's kind of like a threat to their authority, but it's literally just a check-in to go like some people have weird stuff that they react weirdly to. For example, for some reason, I got a blood test when I was 30. I get a blood test every year before that, every year after. When I was 30, I got a blood test and I fainted. And then since then, every time I get a blood test, I faint. And if I see blood, I faint. If somebody describes something particularly gory, I'll faint. If I see gore in a movie, medical gore, I faint. If I read a book and it gets a little bit too bloody, I faint, right? And it just switched on one day. And I know that's weird. So a session zero is just really great for me to say, like, guys, I'm totally cool with violence, but unless somebody wants to drive me home at some point, just like, if we just no medical scenes and like maybe fade to black on super gory bits. And that's like an exception to me as a person. I understand that. I'm not making a moral statement about it. I'm just saying that I would like to be awake for the session, please.
Yeah. And I'm here to have a good time.
And that's what a session zero is. Somebody else says to me, look, I've like my dog died recently, and I'm a bit on edge about it. I'd appreciate it if we just didn't have any violence against dogs. Like, for the next year or so, just give me a bit to don't trigger it. You know what I mean?
Straight up.
And the reason they do that is because, like, hey, if I faint or if I start crying at the table, that's going to be like not fun for anybody. I'm not saying that like, hey, this is for me, I'm being selfish. I'm saying like, if we want to have fun, it'd be really cool if we were all awake and not crying.
Yeah, because like, you know what I don't want to do? Cause someone to pass out on the other side of the table and have no idea what's going on and be like, oh no, what's now game night has turned into an emergency. What are we doing? Like, that's not. And the counter argument to that is like so close to like, well, no, we should do immersion therapy about it. And it's like, bro, you're a dungeon master, not a therapist. Like you shouldn't
Yeah.
like people should face their fears at game night at the game store.
Yeah.
Like this is
I've
neither the
heard
time
that,
nor
but I
the
don't
place.
think it comes from a genuine place.
No, it's not. It's a bullshit argument because like the idea of if I used therapy in a sentence with them, they would freak out too. But I my beef with session zero, and I think it's actually in the nomenclature more than the actual concept, but like I don't want to talk about that for 3 hours, right? Like I think
Oh
that's a
yeah,
genuine, like it's not a session. It's a it's a
yeah.
it's a
It's a
conversation.
10-minute meeting, right?
It's a meeting. It's a prequel. It's a little preamble. It's not a full session. My I always do a session zero. One, because I don't know what anyone has in their past. Maybe you've gone through some traumatic shit. Maybe your dog just died. Maybe there's a global pandemic and you're just like, hey, bro, I don't want disease stuff and body horror.
Yeah, I'm sick of it. I'm bored of that.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a good time for me right now. Like, hey, I don't want to do gothic horror because I don't like it. It doesn't trigger me. I don't have a big emotional response. I'm just like, I think
Hmm.
vampires are overwrought and stupid, and I've played Curse of Strahd 3 times already. And like, if you're doing that, let me know now, and I'll go find a different game or we'll do something else or something. I really like Session Zero because it's a litmus test. Because if you, potential player, have a very strong reaction to the concept of employing compassion to the people around you, then I know I don't want you at my table. Straight up. I do session zero because the person who's like, this is bullshit. It's like, cool, you should go somewhere else because this is not, I don't
Mm,
want to deal with what comes after that. Thanks for letting me know.
interesting. Yeah. Do you know what's weird as well is if you could, and you can't do this. If I could get in there with the scalpel and into your brain and then disconnect the idea of session zero and disconnect it from any word vectors involving culture war or woke or anything like that, left or right, old school, new school. If I could disconnect it and go like, it would be really cool if we had a system so that you could avoid being accidentally rude at the table.
Yeah,
Because people that don't like session zero, they probably also don't like the idea of somebody being rude. And it's rude to upset your guests, right?
right.
Um, I got this word from ages ago. Somebody was talking about like, oh, how do I ask my grandma to stop saying the N word and in a way that's respectful, right? I'm like, that's a really good question to ask about grandma. And they were saying like every time I try to tell her it's racist, we get into a fight. And
Mhm.
the advice I read on Reddit, and this isn't about my grandma, this is just like, you know, this
To be
is
clear,
just
to
something
be
else
clear,
online.
this is not my
And
grandma.
the advice that I read was like, oh, look, if you try and tell them that it's racist, that's like a word that has like a trigger in their brain. You know what I mean?
Mm, mm,
Racist, fight against that. But if you tell them that it's rude, look, it's actually rude to say the N word. You know what I mean?
mm,
They're trained to like, well, I don't want to be rude.
mhm.
And that's how I feel about session zero. Like, listen, you do this so that you're not accidentally rude. It's not so that you can not trigger someone. It's not so that you can protect some feelings. It's not all of these other things that you've built these associations with. It's like literally just don't be rude, please.
Yeah, and we're gonna go into some weird places if we're doing this right. So like having this little conversation at first like creates this permission structure for us to just like go freewheeling into these weird places. Like,
Mm.
oh man, I could as long as I don't torture this guy to the degree of whatever. Then like wait, everything else is on the table. All right, let's play. Let's go. Like, awesome,
Yeah,
cool, great. That sounds like fun to me.
that's tricky. I've enjoyed chatting. We forgot to roll any dice.
Yeah, I mean, well, part of that was a conscious decision because, about 2 hours ago, you're like, I don't know, man. I don't know if I have the long one in me. I think we'll do the short one. And I was like, cool. And this was a long one.
Oh, really? I haven't been
Yeah.
looking at the time. Sorry.
So, I mean, I am in charge, ostensibly. So, hey, everybody, go check out Matty P. He's dope. He makes cool stuff on the internet. You were pumping out jams on Patreon. Like, I got my fingers into one of them, and it was super cool. And like, God damn, did you make it cooler? Like, we did some cool stuff together. Maybe we should do some more stuff in the future. So yeah, go the links down below. Go Go support this awesome dude.
Can I do a shout out? The thing that I try and promote at the moment is my newsletter.
Oh,
It's start a quest, start-a-quest.com. And it's like just like a cool every fortnight. I write like 500 words about D&D and just put it out there. And it's completely low stakes and people read it and they like it. I do giveaways and stuff. And it's just, I don't know, pretty much all of my video ideas I test there first. And if it's a banger there, then I know I can make it into a banger video. But that's where I try and get people to go now. Go to the newsletter. And in fact, let me say it again in a way where you can inject it earlier into the video. What up? I'm interrupting this conversation to say go to my newsletter. It's start-a-quest.com. It's a good letter. It'll change your life. If you don't go to it, I will fight you. I'll fight you. Thank you.
hey everybody. I'm not sure if this is the beginning or the end of the video because both options make me very happy right now. So we shall see what editor Ryan does. And maybe it's in both places. Dude, thank you for hanging out tonight, this morning for you.
It is.
Thank you
No
at home
problem. Thank you, my friend.
for hanging out with us. Yeah, man, appreciate you. It's a heavy lift, but let's try to do something else sometime.
Yeah, for sure.